Now to a Fox 5 exclusive. A family is fearful for the safety of their loved ones after they say that he was stabbed at the Fulton County Jail by 4 inmates while sleeping.
The family claims jail officials did not rush the inmate to the hospital after the attack. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has the story.
The sheriff's office confirms 4 stabbings in as many days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all of last week. 3 of the times the inmates were transferred to Grady Hospital, but the 4th time the inmate was not, and his family wants to know why.
The young lady told me that he got stabbed several times. She said about 10 times. I just started crying.
This mother, who only feels comfortable going by the name of Crystal, says her heart broke when she got word that her son, who we're not naming for his own safety, was stabbed Saturday at the Rice Street Jail. We have shown you vicious assaults like this one back in August of last year that show just how easily things can get out of hand. 4 stabbings in 4 days sounds unconscionable.
I put on my clothes and went down there to Rice Street and asked, could I speak to the captain? He said my son had been in an altercation with some guys and he was stabbed. And I asked him, did he take my son to the hospital? He told me, I said, no, the medical's at the jail.
Jail officials say all 3 inmates from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday stabbings were transferred to Grady Hospital. But Mom Crystal believes jail officials did not respond properly in her son's case.
I feel like they should have took him to the hospital.
The sheriff says the wounds were superficial and did not require hospitalization. Crystal says when she did talk to her son, he too believed he needed medical attention.
Right now, he said he really just hurting. Like every time he breathed, by them stabbing him all in his arm and his side and his back. He said it hurt when he breathed. And I feel like if they had more security and more staff, a lot of that wouldn't have happened. If my son's room was locked while he was asleep, he wouldn't have got stabbed. And my son would inform me that none of the doors are locked. They broke. They don't lock because they broke.
The sheriff says in all 4 instances, homemade shanks were used. He says this dilapidated facility poses a danger not only to the inmates, but to his staff. In downtown, Angelique.
Now, I want you to remember that story because it's going to sound eerily familiar to what just happened to Diamante Kendrick on Sunday. Sources: rapper Yak Gotti stabbed at Fulton County Jail, Atlanta. Multiple sources confirmed to Channel 2 Action News that Diamante Kendrick, who raps under the name Yak Gotti, was stabbed Sunday at the Fulton County Jail. Sources told Channel 2's Michael Seiden that Kendrick suffered minor injuries and is expected to be in court on Monday as jurors continue to deliberate his fate in the Young Slime Life trial. Channel 2 Action News is working to gather additional details surrounding the incident. Kendrick and Shannon Stillwell are the 2 defendants remaining in the YSL trial, which is the longest criminal trial in state history. Last week, prosecutors and defense attorneys wrapped up their closing arguments. Jurors began to deliberate on Tuesday afternoon, but decided to head home on Wednesday for Thanksgiving break. Deliberations are expected to resume on Monday.
Then what I say? I said I will shut that shit down.
Maybe I should get to the end of the video and just play more videos just like that. Maybe that's the best way to go about it. I don't know. At the end of the day, right? Are we surprised? No. In that first report in the beginning, they said 4 days, 4 stabbings. Bro, this was a couple of months ago. I think what's going to end up happening is that place is going to be shut down once a police officer gets stabbed up. Once they start going against the guards, that's when you're going to start seeing real change. Other than that, you're just looking at it as inmates taking care of inmates. And I don't want to use this term, but I'll just use the term. Scum getting rid of scum. They don't care. They look at those people as lower life forms. It just is what it is. Am I saying that personally? No. But what I am saying is that jail does not care about the people. Now, hopefully, Yak doesn't have real injuries that bad or something like that, and what they said is true. And, you know, unfortunately, cats got to be tough guys and all that crap and everything like that, where you can't really report nothing because under the jail the way that jail is supposed to go, or the way that jail does go, is you don't report anything like that anyways. You refuse medical and all that dumb stuff that comes with it. I'm not saying he's under that code or he did anything like that, but I'm saying typically when you don't see a bunch of things happening, that's what ends up happening. Now, to the bigger point, I wonder if the jurors on their way in, well, they wouldn't see this by now anyways, they're already there. But I wonder if the jurors, if they don't come to a verdict today, if they see videos like this and it sways their judgment. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong or anything like that, because justice should be served whether we believe it or not, but it is what it is in that instance. But do know that certain things like this should absolutely file a class action lawsuit. And I wish there was a lawyer out there with a firm big enough that had the cojones to actually go about and do this. Why they don't do it? I think just because of the manpower and the hours it would take to actually do this. But also added with the fact that these cops, they can seal records. If you ain't picked up on it by now, look at Gaither, look at Dennis, look at Viverito, look at Belknap and all these people. They don't keep reports for a reason. It should be scary to figure out why police doesn't even freaking figure out how to report something. Granted, and cops literally can go in, and I want people to understand this. This is a real thing. If you have any family members that are cops or any crap like that, cops can actively make a report, go back and fix the report. Meaning they can add stuff in and all that crap and lie on reports and get away with it. You know why? Because nobody cares about the victims really, and nobody cares about the suspects really. I get not caring about the suspects, but the victims is completely different. And that's why this is one of the most scariest and most dangerous places to be in the world, is to be in Fulton County Jail. Is not because of what's going on inside the jail, but what's going on with the people running the jail. You'd be surprised to see my inbox of how many messages I get of people who fresh out of Rice Street that literally are complaining about being sick because of airborne pathogens that are there that are contaminating people's lungs. Real talk. People only let go and let out because of how much of an expensive bill that they are becoming to the jail. People who literally leave with lacerations and broken bones and stuff like that because the jail just don't care. The jail rather just sends you out and drop some charges for whatever minor petty crime or something like that. This is a thing. Or people who have gotten out of prison and hit me up like, man, I was glad when I got to prison because Rice Street was insane. But I guess we don't know until it's time to know. But other than that, sure, we'll be waiting on the verdict. If the verdict drops while I'm in the air, hey, it is what it is. We'll get to it. If it drops while I'm in the air, I think by the time I get home, which would be like 11 o'clock Central Time, which is 12 o'clock freaking East Coast and 9 o'clock West Coast time, then I guess I'll do a live stream and kind of go over it with y'all. But other than that, hopefully everybody's found innocent, can go home, change their lives for the better, stop being whatever they was before. And I'm not saying that before this crap happened that they, slowed it down or they weren't or anything like that. But I'm hoping that if they were in any, and I mean even a parsnip of bad behavior and bad activities and stuff like that, that they reflect and think about this time and think how the people and God has spared them. Because at the end of the day, if they beat these charges, it's going to be a blessing. But prayers up for Diamante Kendrick and his family and stuff like that. Nobody wants to hear that they damn family member just got stabbed before a verdict reading in court. Like, that's why, Paige, they want to be in court, Paige. That's why they want to hang out there, because they ain't safe in that damn jail.
We want to get straight to breaking news right now in Fulton County, where just in the last 20 minutes, the sheriff's office releasing details about a deadly stabbing inside that Rice Street facility. We're told 36-year-old Edward Cherry stabbed another inmate around 6:30 tonight. Cherry has been held without bond since 2020 on kidnapping and aggravated assault charges. Authorities are not identifying the victim at this time, but tell us he was being held for criminal damage to property. This is the second inmate death at the Fulton County Jail this year.
Tonight, a man who was stabbed in the Fulton County Jail is alive and speaking out. Levi Riley was stabbed in the face while in the county's custody. It's just the latest stabbing incident reported at the Fulton County Jail on Rice Street. And Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn joins us now live. And Patrick, this man said it took days for officers to step in and help.
Blair, Levi Riley, he stood right where I'm standing in this parking lot right when he was released from jail. He gave us his wristband that he was wearing inside, and he told us how he was stabbed while in the county's custody. He said that officers at the time, they said they acted like they see this all the time and they didn't act fast enough. The county sheriff's office disputes that. Meanwhile, Riley was taken to the hospital where he got 23 stitches just above his left eye.
You can see my cut.
29-year-old Levi Riley said he was stabbed just above the eye after he said a fight broke out inside a cell at the Fulton County Jail.
I ended up getting stabbed, and I ended up getting stabbed in my head.
Worse than the stabbing, he said, was the silence. He said for multiple days, officers did not help him.
I'm in the room 3 days bleeding. It's bleeding out.
The sheriff's office confirmed the stabbing incident, but denied officers were slow to respond. A spokesperson told me in an email, quote, an officer saw the inmate's injuries and immediately took action so that he received medical attention. There is no indication of when the assault occurred or that it was reported. Riley said he was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital, where he received 23 stitches. The Fulton County Jail has a history of stabbings. Last month, 37-year-old Leonard Fortner was stabbed to death, one of 13 people who has died in the county's custody at the jail since the beginning of 2023. Last year, Sheriff Pat Labatt brought a group of inmates to the County Board of Commissioners meeting to detail their experiences inside the jail.
I also had 4 knives pulled on me at once. I had knives put to my throat, and I had to call my mom telling them, please wire somebody some money or I'm going to be killed.
Levi Riley spent 34 days at the Fulton County Jail. We checked. A judge dismissed his probation warrant charges this past Thursday. He was released on Friday, set free, and scarred.
Just living here, wait for a court date, it's like living in a third world country. I'm saying, I've been to prison, I've did multiple times, never been to a place like this. This don't want nobody to go through what I went through.
And the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, they are meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Among their agenda, they will talk about the jail conditions here on Rice Street, especially a new proposal for a $1.7 billion new jail. From the Fulton County Jail, Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, man, we just hit 200K. We on our way to 300, man. Subscribe today so you can find out how you can win an Xbox or a PlayStation, man. The details are on the way. This is how you know somebody is literally going to be in the drawing. Robin Minter, check him out, man. All we do is go down and we look and we see his subscriptions. Who does he have? That's Seti Nash right here. What also happens, take that off. Top commenter. That right here, public subscriber. So that's what you got to do, and make sure you share each video, and then you'll be entered to win. Shout out to Mike. Good luck. Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. I'll catch you on the next one.